major pollution issues in the Klamath River, such as the toxic algae problem that is 4,000 times allowable recreation levels, and that the fish are also now toxic due to the Klamath dams. I was wondering if you were familiar with the finances behind the Klamath dams. Many economic studies have shown that removing the Klamath dams would be up to hundreds of millions of dollars cheaper than relicensing them. So my question is, what would you do if Pacificorp decided to keep these dams, even though it would mean that your shareholders would lose money in the long run, and that Pacificorp's ratepayers would also be losing money?
Well, I think the question about the ratepayers will be addressed by the public utility commissions. I mean, it is their job to represent the citizens of Oregon and weigh a number of different considerations. For example, clean energy. Do you want to replace hydro energy with, of what you're talking about, with coal, which emits carbons into the atmosphere? There are enormous trade-offs. Anytime the government gets involved in eminent domain, we have that with wind farms, for example, in Iowa. There's some people that are unhappy with us using the land for wind farms, but on the other hand, you get clean energy that way. And there are trade-offs involved in government policy. You get into that with the question of eminent domain, all of that sort of thing. But I think I'm going to let Dave talk to the question, the more technical questions you get into. But I would say overall, you have people with widely different interests. Obviously, a big interest is the cost of electricity. And to some extent, every public utility commission that makes a decision on gas versus coal versus wind versus solar is making a decision based partly on the economics to their ratepayers, partly on their feelings about what is the best for society. And those commissions are appointed state by state to make those decisions. Now, in addition, in this case, we have the FERC, as it's called, the Federal Energy Regulation Commission, that will also have to rule on it. They will listen to everybody. They'll listen to you. They'll listen to the 28 others that Dave mentioned. In the end, we will do exactly what they say. I mean, as a public utility, if they tell us to not put up coal, we will not put up coal. If they tell us to put up wind, assuming that there's a place where there is wind, we will put up wind. We follow the dictates of the regulatory bodies that tell us what to do. And in the end, they give us a fair return on the assets employed. And we will get that return, whatever the assets may be. If they tell us to put in coal assets, we'll get a return on that. So from our standpoint, on the standpoint of profitability, it's neutral. From the standpoint of society, weighing all these different things, that's a decision society will make. But Dave, want to talk to the algae question?